Welcome back to Louisiana. I am Samuel, and today we're going to be doing something pretty exciting. So, I live way out in the country in a pretty rural area, and the internet out here is pretty slow. It's kind of hard to do stuff on it. And, I use the internet a lot because I do my classes online, and, with that, it's kind of hard to do stuff well and quickly when your internet speeds are pretty slow. Download speeds are usually under 2 megabits per second, and upload speeds are usually under 1 megabit per second. If you know much about internet speeds, that's pretty on the low end. And Elon Musk, the well-known Mr. Musk here, has started this company called Starlink. And what Starlink is doing is it's sending out satellite terminals to people who need high-speed internet in rural areas, and it works with this special system of low Earth orbit satellites, so it has high speed and low latency. The low latency is hard to get with traditional satellite internet. So I'm pretty excited about this, and we ordered our Starlink about a couple months ago, back in 2021, and it has arrived. So this is an awesome day, and we're going to be installing it. So this right here is our little Starlink terminal, as you can see. And here's one problem with this Starlink system that Elon Musk has sent us. It comes just right out of the box with a mount, and what this mount is essentially just a floor plate. This is it right here. And we don't need this. We're just throw that thing away because this is Louisiana, and we have to do stuff a little bit better. So we're gonna be building our own mount to bolt it onto the side of a chimney. And Mr. Elon, he does have a wall mount that we could use, but we're not using that. We're not gonna wait for it to order that. So we're just gonna go ahead and build our own. So let's get into doing it. Alright, so you look up there way up high in the sky. Right there is the little pole mount coming off the chimney that we have attached, and there's another pole that's going to go on top of that and hold the Starlink. This right here is our custom built pipe to hold our Starlink dishy. As you notice, it has a little welded bolt on here to go into the slot that's mounted on the dishy terminal. If you look, there's this little slot here that keeps it from rotating around. So that's going to be our method there. It can just slide right down on top of this bolt that goes through. It's going to be another one of these bolts on the bottom here, right here, to clamp up against the pipe that's currently mounted on the chimney, just to hold some nice friction to keep this from rotating. So that's going to be our plan for mounting this. It's a pretty Louisiana method of doing it, not the way that Starlink would probably recommend, but hopefully it will work. So we just got to see if we can actually get it done.
Uh-oh, we got the wire.
So here's our device for getting up to the chimney, and if you notice, our Starlink terminal is going to be up there, and that's to have a wire running down the chimney, under the porch, and it's going to have to go up through the porch into the house right there. So I'm going to go inside and poke the wire back outside under the porch, and we're going to have to reverse feed it all the way up to where we're about to mount the terminal. So let's go see if we can feed this wire through the porch. Now the Starlink comes standard with 75 feet of cord, and if you look, we're going to have our satellite up there about 35 feet down, about 10 feet over here, and then about 15, 20 feet under there, and then another few feet up into the house, and then another few feet actually going from the house to where we're going to put it on the table. So we are going to be cutting this pretty close to our supply of cord, but I think hopefully we can just have enough to reach all the way up there. So the reason we were poking this from the inside back to the outside is because this end has a much larger port on the end of it, and it can't really fit through the little hole that we have drilled in the floorboard there. So we had to feed back through the other direction since that end has a much smaller port, only about that big instead of this big port here. So we're going to take our cable and plug it directly into the base of the Starlink dishy, and then we're going to drop our Starlink dishy onto our pipe we've made, make sure the slot lines up with the our little bolt there, and now we can tighten it down. The reason we have this cable running on the outside is because we have it on the inside. It would be in the slot that our bolt has to tighten up against, and we don't want to damage that cord, so that's a pretty important cord right there. Now, since our pole mount is much higher than our little stand there, what we're going to do is, if you've ever tried picking up a sledgehammer or something from the bottom with the end way out there, the leverage, it makes it extremely hard to maneuver. And with this huge piece of pipe, with this satellite dish up here, it's just going to be impossible to just hold it at the bottom and maneuver it to position exactly where we need it to be. So we're going to tie a little string here and then have another stick that we're going to hold on to it from the top here. So we're going to be able to maneuver the top half and manhandle the bottom half to hopefully line this up fairly precisely, pointing north, which is where the main Starlink array is, and be able to drop it down onto our little mount fairly easily. So let's hope everything works as well as we were thinking it will. So this is our stick we're going to be using, and we're going to drill a hole in it so we can thread the cord through and it won't slip off of it. Perfect hole right there. We're gonna be using some high tensile nylon cord today. So we just need to poke this little cord right through our hole here, and then we'll be ready to tie that onto the pole with a satellite. So here's our little mounting job right there with the cord. So I'm gonna put my GoPro on my head. I'm gonna grab this stick and make sure I can kind of learn my controls here. Because I mean, keep in mind, we're gonna be hanging in off a 35-foot drop, so I need to be able to maneuver this with some confidence, and this is feeling pretty solid. Not super hard right there. So it's a little heavy, but this should go pretty well now that I can control it fairly easily. So you know you're doing some real Louisiana stuff when you have to put your Crocs in sport mode. So we're going to be pulling this satellite up with this cord, because it's going to be pretty hard to just walk up with this big old pole hanging off the end of another pole with a satellite dish. So the cord can be our best option for pulling it up to the top of our ladder here. I got it.
Let me see it now.
Pull the here. Whoop.
Down we go.
Boom. Is it down?
Yep.
All right, I'm coming this thing down. Find a cat. Just gonna drop it. So there's a floor flange that's been welded to a metal plate for more area to screw onto the chimney here. And then there's a 1 1/4 inch pipe coming out of the floor flange with a T with a little bushing to neck it down to a 1 inch pipe that the pole we mounted on slipped over. So the 1 inch pipe is inside there holding it on. That's what that bolt is screwed up against to give it some little tension there. And of course the dish is mounted on top of that with the cable running down and is zip tied on here. And we just gotta finish hooking it up to the house down there below the chimney. Keep in mind, there's our satellite. Here's our little stand. And there's the ground 35 feet below us. So this is a pretty exciting install we did today. So into the mortar, drilled a 3/16 hole, and these concrete anchors are a 1/4 inch size. So it's just a little bit wider than the pilot hole. So it gives it enough pressure up against that mortar to lock in. Well, now that our Starlink has been installed, I've ran a couple speed tests, and I can quite safely say it's about 80 to 100 times faster than what it was before. I mean, that's just crazy how you can just stick out your satellite terminal and it automatically finds satellites, connects to them, and boom, you have instantly high-speed internet, and it's pretty awesome. So that was really amazing how easy it was to install, and you know, it was pretty fun to stick up there. But you know, the rest of the setup and setting up the router and the actual internet system was super easy. It was really well streamlined. Kind of remind me of the entire Elon Musk, his style with his Tesla cars and all of his products. So that was really cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your grandmother, and if you do happen to have any recommendations about Starlink or about installing it, or if you have it, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.